Okay, are you ready?
No, I'm not ready.
What we're doing is looking at finding range, mean, median, and mode. In order to figure these out, you have to be able to know the difference between a range, a mean, a median, and a mode, which means some vocab terms. So, range is the difference between highest and lowest numbers in a set of numbers. It doesn't matter what the set involves. It can be percentages, it could be temperatures, it could be points, whatever. But the difference between the highest and the lowest numbers in a set. So, thinking in math vocabulary, what does difference mean? What does it represent? If you know, raise your hand. What does the word difference represent in math? So what I'm asking you, is it adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Connie.
Isn't it subtraction?
It is subtraction. All right, so the next one is mean. We oftentimes call mean an average. So the average of a set of numbers. To find the mean, we take and add all the numbers up and then divide it by the number of numbers or the number of terms. So if I took your test scores from this morning, your quiz scores, and I did percentages for everybody, I could find the average percentage by adding everybody's score up and dividing it by 12, because that's how many of you there are, which would mean there are 12 scores. So that's range and mean, or what we call average. The next two will be median and mode. Median is plain and simple the number that falls in the middle. To find the median, you will arrange the numbers from lowest to highest, and whichever one is directly in the middle is the mean. Sometimes, like our class has 12, so there's not going to be a single number that falls in the middle because it's even. And we'll talk about what you do there. But if there's 5 numbers, the third number, the third largest number, is going to be your median. Very simple. No adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. Just look at the numbers, figure out which one falls in the middle, which one is sitting in the middle. And then the last one is the mode. That's the number that occurs most often. So if I took your 12 test scores and I had a 100%, 95%, 92%, 95%, 92%, 95%, 95%, 98%, an 80, a 12%, a 95%, which one occurred most often? 95. That's the mode. You can have more than one mode. So if we had 5 people get a 90% and 5 people get a 95%, we would have what we call modes. We would have 2 of them, 90 and 95. Okay, so it's the number that repeats itself most often. So our last two, our median and our mode, don't require adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. They require you looking at numbers and understanding places in those numbers, which one falls in the middle, and then how many times they're written down. Does that make sense to everyone? Questions on the definition part? All right, so here's our first example. This is finding the range. So we have daily high temperatures of 24, 25, 20, 18, 21, 23, and 22. I would write down the steps so that every time you're asked to find the range, you remember to do step 1, step 2, and step 3. Math is really, really easy when you follow steps. Some of you can do step 1, step 2, and step 3 all in your head in 5 seconds. Wonderful, great. Some of you can't. Know who you are if you can't. It's really important to write stuff down. All right, so step 1 would be to rearrange the numbers in order from lowest to highest. Step 2 is to take the lowest number and subtract it from the highest number. That would be finding the difference. And step 3 is write down the range. That answer that you got in step 2 is your range. So it's a 2-step problem. Find my highest, find my lowest, subtract them, and find my answer. How many of you think, yep, could do that? Okay, if you think, yep, I can do that, find the range of those daily high temperatures.